Welcome to Backyard Road Trips. I'm Zack.
I'm Jim.
And we're here celebrating for season 4 of the Backyard Road Trips podcast.
Congratulations.
This is, I think, the longest commitment I've had in my life to anything. Now, we're going to get liquored up, right?
Not quite. We are going to do some drinking because it's really the backyard drinking road trip.
Clearly, once you become a parent, now you only take road trips to the liquor store. This one goes out to Andy Heist, by the way.
Yeah,
this whole episode.
Here, let me give you a little more. We are doing.
Thank you. This is actually good for you, right? This is an athletic beer taste test, just sampler, I guess. Flight, if you will.
From Athletic Brewing.
Yep, Athletic Brewing here in Connecticut. So Stratford's finest, other than Two Roads. Stratford's other finest, maybe. There's a lot of hype about this brand. Have you had any of their stuff?
Yeah, I've had the IPA, their whatever flagship one.
The Run Wild, the blue.
Yeah, blows me away. Tastes exactly like beer. It's non-alcoholic. I mean, that's their lineup. So
this is the Golden Ale. First of all, we have.
Oh, it smells amazing. We were talking a long time about this and how we like the idea of a non-alcoholic because you don't want to get you want to enjoy it without getting drunk and so
right enjoying it with that. So
that's so good.
It is good. I think it has an essence of a real Golden Ale. I would say
it's hoppy.
Yeah, it is hoppy. Now I wonder what the calorie content of this is compared to is alcohol very caloric?
I don't know.
You know what the smell kind of reminds me of is one of those gluten-free beers a little bit. Like a better gluten-free beer. It's dry.
I do like that they their slogan is bring this to work out. Drink this while you're working out. It's okay.
Bring this to work. Now, could you bring that to work?
Yeah, I would be allowed to. I would love to. Yeah,
you should. You should bring it to work.
Would you?
I mean, I guess we both work in educational facilities, but a little more whatever anything goes in college, then
I suppose that's true.
Usually bring jungle juice to work.
Are you unionized? Is your position?
Yeah.
I mean, we got strong unions. We can do what we want. That's true,
then, right? I'm part of the Boilermakers.
It doesn't give any calorie. Oh no, so 45 calories. That's great. 10 carbs. Well, it's kind of. I guess it's. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know
if carbs. I don't know numbers. So the alcohol must do a lot because you would think even a light beer would be 120 calories at least, right? I mean, if you're talking about a 16 ouncer, like a big double IPA, you're talking 320 calories.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. Think about that. You're sitting down and you're having 2 of those and you're having a third of your daily caloric intake.
Maybe for you because you're a skinny guy.
Oh, no.
For me, that's only an eighth of my...
Okay, what you're supposed to have. What you're, what the... And it also says 0.5%. That's what they all say. Under 0.5%, right? Is that the...
That's it, 0.5% alcohol by volume, which would take you all 20,000 of these to get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
It does say yeast in here, so they must do something after. I mean, I wonder if they boil it and then they carbonate it, so they boil. I truly don't know, but I don't know. This is delightful.
Do you think it loses something because there's no if someone were going to give you this up to Golden Ale is not really a style that I go to all that often.
How come?
I think it's a hard style to kind of get to do well, to have it stand out, because it's I feel like Golden Ale was really kind of like a gateway drug to craft beer about 15 years ago for people. They'd be oh, I know Mayflower used to do their Golden Ale was their flagship.
Yep.
They don't have that anymore. It's out of the roster. But
sank.
It did. It's Sanka. It's another good drink, Sanka. So, but I feel like it was kind of for people that wanted to get into craft beer, but not really, go into the stouts or, back before everything was an IPA. That could kind of be that gateway where I feel like now people are jumping into the IPAs as a gateway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because there's so much hype and everything.
Yep.
So that's my only guess by Golden Ales. It's not because if you taste a Golden Ale, I mean, it definitely has a different taste than a Budweiser kind of lager.
Yeah.
But not that. I mean, you could go from one to the other. Like Adam. We'll talk about our friend Adam, Michelob Ultra guy, but he will take a Cape Cod Blonde, Cape Cod Beers Blonde Ale, or he's definitely been okay with having the craft blonde ale.
It comes close to an IPA for me. I mean, maybe that's just the hops that they use.
It doesn't have the hops, yeah.
Right. So I feel like I think I take your point that it's almost
like a pale ale. I feel like I'm getting from this because it's not as intense as an IPA, but his golden ales, I feel like sometimes are thicker.
Yeah.
Some of them. No, I'm thinking blonde ale. Never mind. Cape Cod.
What's the difference then?
I think, well, because I just used it interchangeable and that was wrong.
Are they two different styles?
I'm going to self-flagellate after this. It just means
do it on air.
Yep. Which one is this we're drinking now?
Oh, yeah.
The hazy.
We're on the hazy free wave. Yep, hazy IPA.
I do like the cans.
70 calories, so this should be a little better tasting. Yeah, this is a great. The cans look like well-made beer.
They do, yeah.
What do you think of this, by the way?
I don't mind the taste at all. I do think that if I'm comparing this to other things, there's flatness at the end. Like it just kind of stops.
Yeah,
like someone put up a red
little
flag.
One-dimensional.
Yeah,
not even two-dimensional.
It's like the guy doing the scene on the play said, "Stop." I don't.
I can't go any further.
Right.
I wish I had a toilet down here. We could throw this in. But.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It just doesn't really,
Yeah, this is okay.
This wouldn't replace a beer for me.
No, I would. The first one, the golden ale, I would drink that,
especially for what it was. Give me a golden ale, regular golden ale. This, I think, I'd be. It'd be interesting to take like a flight of beer and mix one of these in, not knowing what this one. I think you could definitely tell. The first one, though, if you're going to do a flight of golden ales, I think you could probably do.
Should have snuck old duels in here.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's one of my questions I had for you. Have you ever been a big non-alcoholic beer drinker?
A big one? I think
or have you had any? St. Pauli girl, or
is that non-alcoholic?
Yeah, that's NA. Yeah, huh. That's Native American and non-alcoholic.
Is that the light that Michael Scott has up in his?
Is that? I don't.
Is that a St. Pauli girl? Anyway,
it's like
Well, no, I don't know that I've ever really had any. How about you?
I told you the Beck story, how I got the non-alcoholic Becks. I think I was telling us on the craft soda one last time, yeah, which was good. I listened to that the other day. It was funny.
Yeah, it was great.
Yep.
Yeah, you should drink more soda.
I know. Hosmer Mountain, Foxton Park, way to go.
Hit it out of the park.
So how did you kind of get on the idea of having these athletic beer with us?
Well, Andy.
Yeah, so Andy was my inspiration too. He is my soul and my inspiration in general.
He's my inspiration for my whole life.
Yes,
I wonder if maybe one day he'll listen to the show and we can get him onto the show.
Maybe season like 18.
Yeah. Andy picked some up and brought him by.
He stopped drinking, right?
Yeah, or he cut back or something. But
right.
I think that he just he tried to find a more healthier way to like enjoy and not feel ostracized or something. But
the interesting thing about this is I do say, I mean, I think I like the golden ale better as a general one than this one.
Yeah,
I don't dislike this one. It doesn't taste bad. It just doesn't really taste too much.
It really dissipates fast.
Yeah, very quickly. But I want to say I could see it as the act of drinking that this could certainly replace a beer.
Yeah.
Because it still has that beer quality. Like if you were out somewhere enjoying yourself at a, Willie Wilson's or some other Emily's Pizza or some other establishment, and you had a glass of non-alcoholic beer of this caliber, not caliber. That's Guinness's non-alcoholic, right? Caliber,
really?
With a K, I think so.
Wow, you're the connoisseur of
everything
in non-alcoholic beers.
I have a problem. So I want to say that it would suffice for me. Like if I was going to have one of these out, I think you're still like tasting like you're having beer. I think it could suffice, especially in a social setting.
Yep, I agree. I think that like I could picture drinking these on like, let's say it's a Thanksgiving, or maybe not a Thanksgiving, but like a long day of football.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to be blitzed. But I do want to enjoy
$2 drafts at Billy Wilson's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boy, have you found this on tap anywhere? Did they do it on tap?
Not that I've noticed, but I mean, who goes anywhere these days?
Yeah.
I'll go to, this is where I go. Right here.
I'm very sorry for that. Poor Zack.
To be honest with you, when I go out, if I'm going out for a beer at a place, I mostly go to a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mostly, that brewery's beer. Maybe they'll have a couple of guest taps, but typically they'll be local, like craft beer.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't throw one of these on tap. If there's going to be an alternative, I see it being seltzer, but also a local seltzer. So, and not that this is.
Do they have
local.
those on tap? Is that something you serve on tap?
They do, but I think it's like, how they have, like, they can do canned cocktails, not canned, but cocktails on tap.
Yeah.
Which usually don't come out that well, in my opinion. I think it's the same kind of thing, putting the seltzer on tap.
Is there I know that you've got bars around you in Plymouth, but like, is there a brewery? We went to the distillery.
Yep. The distillery is actually moving, they took that place and making it into apartments. Into the old, there's nice. There's a factory. It's about 2 miles up the road, and the distillery, the coffee shop that's part of that are still there. Going to be there. It's going to be a beautiful new facility. It's going to be opening up in a couple of months. Plus the brewery that's in there too. They have a brewery under their brand too. There's a winery next door. So it's gonna be a whole
that's cool
thing, which is cool. It's right on the water. Plymouth has 5 breweries. They have Mayflower, which is kind of the ultimate.
Very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's located in an industrial park a little bit outside of town. Second Wind is right downtown. Then they have that indie firm, which is kind of more funkier beers in a different industrial park. They'll have a Grotzer. They'll have, a Triple is their flagship.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's really rare.
Very different. Yeah. Red ale, brown ale. So, I like them. I used to go there a lot when Danny was small because it's a very small place and he was good there. But as the kids gotten older, it's very small to go there. Then there's, so it's 3. So I think I counted 3. And then there's going to be then there's the one at the distillery, Lama Nama. Kind of, the name is kind of okay. The last one, they're opening a brand new one. It's the guy's been doing it for a couple of years now, but they're opening a brick and mortar all sours called Sour Not Sorry. And that's opening right downtown too. There's also a cidery in Plymouth.
Wow.
And there's 2 wineries and a distillery. So
happening place.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to get wasted.
Yeah. How many are in staggering distance from your house that you don't have?
Breweries themselves?
Yeah.
I have one right now in staggering distance. Mm-hmm. And when the sour one comes, it will be.
That'd be great, man.
Yeah. So awesome. 2 in staggering distance.
You got to open up an athletic one.
Athletic brewery.
Yeah. Just like a
athletic. Yeah. So Andy actually, I wrote an article about the Run Wild.
Yeah.
Because of Andy.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was like, you write a lot about beer. Why don't you write about something like the Athletic that could be an alternative for those folks that don't want to have the alcohol in it, but are still interested in kind of that craft beer lifestyle?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I thought that was a really good idea.
Where'd you pick these up?
Craft Beer Cellar.
Where is that?
In Plymouth. They actually have, what I like about them is that you can buy single cans. So I got 4 single cans of this, and instead of committing to a 4-pack or 6-pack of each. And they also had non-alcoholic wine there. They had a whole non-alcoholic section actually.
Really?
Right when you walk in was the first thing. And so last night was Plymouth's tree lighting. We did that. Danny wanted hot cocoa, so he's in the line for hot cocoa with Jackie and Tommy. I had Charlie in the stroller. I get into Craft Beer Cellar. It was some decent amount of people there because it was the big event. But I got right to it. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're back already. So didn't take very long at all.
That's good.
But yeah, so they had a light beer too. I was like, I thought 4 was a good number because you can use the 4-pack. So, but I was like, so the light, they had an Athletic Light, which
was the golden not light enough? Like, how much lighter do you get?
Yeah, how much lighter is 40 calories?
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is the one we both had before.
Yep.
Yeah, the last one wasn't my favorite.
No.
It's funny through all this. I do have to say that I feel like we were on the same page palate wise. I feel like when we have even when we were doing the other day the soda one, we were really on the same.
I was laughing listening to the ginger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Whoa, just coughing.
That was yeah.
But yeah, you've taught me. I'm a better man because of your experience and teaching me how to drink beer better.
This has more taste than the second one.
Oh, this is much better than the hazy.
JJ Watt is now one of the spokespeople for them.
For Athletic?
Yeah, I was looking at the website.
Really?
And it's also, they have a second brewing facility in San Diego. They must be doing pretty darn well for themselves.
Wow.
And they are all over the place, too.
They got to do a Juicy IPA.
Or Juicy's.
Sponsored by Juicy's.
Well, they have a hazy, so isn't that kind of like their Juicy, you think?
Is it?
Hazy,
I
Juicy.
Hazy and Juicy were kind of different.
Oh, it's like hazy. It's like, it's very humid. It's hot.
Yeah.
Hot, humid, and juicy. Instead of, it doesn't quite work. They're not interchangeable. So the other non-alcoholic beer I've had, so I had the Beck's.
Yep.
To be truthful, the Beck's non-alcoholic didn't taste much different than the alcoholic.
I guess.
But it wasn't, I'm not a
if
huge
you're the kind
fan.
of guy who's drinking Beck's in the first place, that's appealing to you.
Yeah.
But
a lot of the European beers like that, to me, they smell skunked.
Yeah.
Skunky.
Like that and
like
Heineken.
Stella, Heineken.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just kind of have a...
Yeah, they smell like they've been sitting out in the sun for like all summer.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I agree.
Pilsner Quell, I think is better a bit, but not. It's kind of what I would say about that with that. But the Beck's I didn't know. I don't ever had no rules.
All right. Well, we'll have to change that one day.
Is Redbridge? No, it's gluten-free. Redbridge. I think it's Budweiser's gluten-free.
I tried one time the Jim Beam Budweiser. I fell for the gimmick.
Ooh, how was that?
That was stupid.
What is it?
They made it seem like it was like bourbon barrel aged Jim or
that's
Budweiser.
That's your wheelhouse right
that's
there.
what I love.
Yeah.
So I couldn't say no.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really just like they threw, I don't know, had something to do with like just a stave of a barrel that's also or used. So it wasn't aged in anything. Like it was.
They stir it with a barrel,
they
stave with a burnt
charred
made it
stave.
Look
at a barrel made by Jim Beam and like said that this is enough. We get that. It was not great, but hey, I fell for it.
Yeah,
I don't know how that got because what were you just saying?
I was talking about Beck's. Yeah, it's something that caught your eye.
Yeah,
the Beck's didn't, but I just didn't know it was non-alcoholic until I got home.
Is there any major beers that you haven't tried?
Yeah, I think probably quite a bit.
Really?
Never tried the Bud Light Clamato.
God, doesn't it sound gross?
Yeah, it does.
It's like kind of popular too.
Well, in Canada, right? It's popular. I mean, a Caesar. Have you ever had a Caesar? Take a Bloody Mary. It's a lot of in Canada that you use clam juice. That's where the Clamato comes from. Clam juice and tomato juice combined.
I knew the tomato, but clam juice?
Yeah, that's the clam.
So
that's the clam of the auto.
What is wrong with people? Obviously, there's a demand for it because they're making it, but
yeah, but the Caesar wasn't a bad drink. But think about a Bloody Mary. Not that I drink too many. Do you like Bloody Marys?
No.
Yeah, I'm not a big Bloody Mary fan either. But
who wants tomato juice when they're drinking?
Yeah, but
is that what Bloody
Mary is? Yeah. God, but my parents used to always drink a Bloody Mary.
Really?
Yeah, they used to always have a Bloody Mary. Is that funny thing about? I'll have to when they go to like a nice restaurant to wear like a tie. My mom would wear a tie. And they'd always order a Bloody Mary. I wonder if like I'll have to talk to them about that.
I really can't picture that.
Yep, Bloody Mary. That's also it's a really terrible name if you think about it. Bloody Mary.
What kind of alcohol do you put in Bloody Mary?
Vodka. Vodka. But like your idea would be something salty. The clam juice makes it saltier, of course. Straight brine, straight salt water right in there.
You had it right from the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just start drinking that. Wow.
Yeah, juicing of clam. How do you juice a clam, by the way?
Didn't you shuck oysters?
I have. Yeah, I shuck oysters. I mean, is that all it is? Is the juice of the clam probably right in there?
I don't eat seafood or anything.
Yeah,
you would be the expert.
Yeah, I imagine that would be. You open up a clam and then clams. I think even though oysters are really hard to do, a little while ago I got some clams because they're a lot cheaper typically. I got 6 clams to eat for appetizer for dinner. So what am I going to do with them? So I didn't know there's no nub to really put your knife into to like open up the clam. I do. So I cooked them to pop them open. And then I just ate them right like that.
That's okay.
They were good. Yeah. Cause they're cooked. Cooked them, microwave. No, I don't know. How did I cook them? I must have put them in the oven. I put them in the oven. But it was just very different than oysters. But I was expecting to eat them raw, but I didn't know how to open them because like with the oyster, oyster looks like a crazy kind of rock, but it has a little like overhang. It almost looks like a beak, and you got to stick the shucker on the underside of the beak, where that little hole is. You get your tip in there.
Jeez, the euphemisms here, man.
And then you twist.
Okay.
And eventually, by twisting, you get further under the beak.
Do you got to get a special tool for all this?
Yeah, it looks like somewhere between a knife and a butter knife, kind of shaped like a knife. But it has like a thick handle, and it has but a butter knife consistency more or less. Like it's sharper, but it's not like you're not going to bring it to a knife fight. Probably not. I mean, a good jab you could probably puncture something pretty well, but yeah. So you do that, you twist, and eventually the other part pops off. Then you got to take it as it's popped off and just scrape right around there to get the top off, make it topless. And then, twist the knife in there to get the meat away from the shell and slurp it all up.
That sounds so gross.
It is
like
kind of
a lot
gross
of work.
About it. Yeah, but the clam, I couldn't even open it.
And that's why you had to cook it, right?
Yeah.
Does it taste different when you cook it?
Yeah, much different. I mean, I like steamer. I love steamers.
Really?
So steamed clams in general, wonderful.
What makes it taste better?
Different.
Why?
I mean, think about it. If you're eating raw fish versus cooked fish, different consistency. The oyster raw. I mean, there is definitely discrepancy between different oysters that you have and where they're cultivated, and this and that. What you put on it. So and they will retain kind of the flavors of the sea more. Where if you cook a clam or cook an oyster when you cook has like a big belly to it, not a belly because it's a clam has a belly, but it has like it's bigger typically, and they're richer. They're very, very, very rich. Which to me, when they're fried or they're cooked like that, I'd say it's a little bit much. I can eat some, but I couldn't eat as many as I could of like a fried clam.
Do you prefer clams or oysters?
Raw, I prefer oysters.
What happens if you find a pearl in?
Then that's call it a good day.
Does that happen
all the time?
I don't know if you're.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, okay. I mean, that's already.
I've never heard of anybody actually getting a pearl, except for in the cartoons. Yeah, I'm getting drunk over these beers here. I'm actually excited for the stout.
Yeah, the stout's if we had a place like you had near you where you can just get single cans, I would have gotten this. I didn't want to commit to it because they're kind of pricey.
These,
for like a 6-pack or an 8-pack, whatever they sell them.
It costs me. This place, it's definitely more to get them. Yeah, a can. I think it's like $10.50 for 4 of them.
Well,
it's like $2.75 a can.
It's not that bad when you want to do a variety, I guess. Yeah, it's not crazy, but that's a lot.
Yeah. Especially because there is no alcohol.
Yeah.
So usually
really the dollar per ounce of alcohol is crazy high. This is probably the most expensive alcohol that you bought since the alcohol content's so low.
Yeah, since it's low. That's a good point.
Yeah.
0.5%. Yeah, that one, I think I might like the Golden Ale the best so far, though.
Yeah, me too.
Then this one was serviceable, though.
Yeah, I'd probably pick the Golden Ale over this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is a stout.
Stout, 90 calories.
Man.
Yeah, we're really packing it in.
I know.
Oh, that's beautiful color.
Yep. Thanks. I like the can the best, too.
It's just like a stout, too. It is a stout, I guess. It just doesn't have...
There's some roastiness to it on the nose, as they say.
Wow, yeah. I think this will be a favorite.
Has actually real roastiness. You want to finish up? It's called the All Out Extra Dark.
Extra Dark.
Real dark. So far we've had the Run Wild. We've had the extra. This is the All Night, All Day,
All Out.
All Out.
Free Wave.
Yeah.
And Upside Dawn.
This is a full day we've had.
Yeah.
Upside Dawn. So then you go running and waves, and then you go out at night.
That's great.
Yeah, it has a small bit of roastiness.
Yeah, it almost tastes like a coffee. I don't know.
Yeah,
getting like the bitterness of coffee, maybe. No, are you?
Yeah, I'm getting some.
It tastes like an imitation stout, like the things that make a stout, and they kind of accented those.
Yeah. I similar to the second beer, it stops short. Like there's no lingering taste. Like my tongue after I've had it doesn't think I just had a stout. Which usually when you have a stout, you can taste it 3 days later. So
true.
Okay, yeah, we'll be eating all the cinnamon by the time he gets here.
Should just throw it away. We tried it. We couldn't do it.
No, that's the snort, right? I think. Yeah,
this isn't great.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's not bad. I think it's good for what it is.
It's something that, again, I could have this out if I went out and out of my cage, because they usually don't let me out of my cage. But I could have it, and I'd be happy to just be out and drinking this. But if I'm drinking it just for the taste itself, a little tough. Especially because you could taste like little hints of it. Makes me want to have a real stout.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where like the Golden Ale, I didn't think I had that because I don't really crave the Golden Ale as a genre as much as I would. It's cool. It's a Connecticut brand, though.
Yeah. Connecticut is doing just fine with the capital of the world, they say.
That's right. Hub of the universe.
Yeah. As we declared right now.
That's right. Move over, Boston. So looking at all these now that we're on our last one.
Yeah.
The Golden Ale, I think, could compare to a regular Golden Ale. Okay.
Yep.
Juicy IPA, not so much.
No.
It'd be kind of hard to call that a juicy IPA.
Hazy.
Oh, sorry. Hazy IPA. Okay.
Although I defer to you if they're both.
This often those adjectives are used to describe a New England style in hazy.
There's no way I would consider that a juicy IPA.
No.
So.
And hazy, I don't even remember looking that hazy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Put a little milk in mine, so maybe that's why mine was a little bit more hazy.
Explains the gas.
Mm-hmm. The IPA, for a regular IPA, a hint of it. And the stout, not bad, a little hint of a stout, but not really going to replace it.
I'll say that they all but they don't taste like they're not beers either.
No, this is true.
Like they all taste like they're beer. They're just like,
this is true. Yeah.
You can kind of, I don't know. Like, you mentioned this earlier, like if you think we snuck one of these in a lineup, would you say, oh, that one's definitely not an alcoholic one. That's a non-alcoholic. Do you think you could pick that out? Or would you just say that's just a weird tasting stout?
You know what's the thing? I think it's going to have to depend what you're comparing it with. I think if you're having it with, really robust lineup of beers, then you're going to pick this out like a sort.
Yeah.
But there's other breweries that I can think of right now that nothing bad about it, but like thinking about like Sea Dog. Have you been to Sea Dog?
Where's that?
It's part of Shipyard.
Yes.
And there's a chain of them. They have them up and down, even to Florida and probably beyond. Brew pub, kind of like a chain style restaurant inside. They'll give you a flight of like everything they have, which is, I don't know, like 10 beers. They give you like a little small sample of each of them. And so many of those I remember drinking and being like, okay, that doesn't have much taste. So if you put these along with like a beer like that, I think you could probably sneak one or two of these in where you couldn't if you're putting this up with like Fox Farm.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Night and day with that. I think.
Right. So I think it just depends. A lot of these I would rather have most of these over a Budweiser or a Bud Light.
Yep.
I don't even know what last time I had a Budweiser would be. A Bud Light. I would say I would take any of these over that.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it. There's a lot of beer I would have this over.
Yeah, definitely.
So none of them are bad. Yep. They're just not. Well, whatever. They are what they are.
They are what they are. They're
especially in the category.
They're
non-alcoholic.
Good. Yes,
they're probably the best.
It would be the idea is you work out and you have one of these. Here's a question for you. You like to work out?
Yeah, clearly.
If you were going to work out, what would you want after you worked out?
Oh, like probably not the stout,
but like, would you, if in general?
Oh,
like what if you were to work out, that you went for a run?
Yeah.
What would you do when you got home? What would you go for?
Water.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I don't think this would replace water for me.
No.
If I were to, I've never ran one of those like, beer runs. But if you did, I think I'd want it like a real beer. Just because I'd be like, oh, well, I deserve a real beer after this.
Right. And a victory drink, but
yeah. And
not
then they show
like regular. That's it's kind of a weird. I don't know. Maybe people do it, but.
And then I see like the advertisements again online, but like somebody climbing a mountain and then drinking one of these. You're a big climber. What would you have?
No, I would still be drinking water.
Me too.
Yeah. The people who people will bring beer and whiskey up there, and it's just like, why?
Right.
I just feel like suffering.
Gets all jostled up in the backpack.
Like water, of course. Just trying to hydrate. I don't know.
Yeah, like after I work out, I crave water. And you know what's an interesting thing too? Like I would rather have certain seltzers, not alcoholic seltzers, but regular seltzers, than I would a lot of beers.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a Spindrift seltzer?
Nope.
I love them because they taste like the real like flavor of it, but there's a real a nice flavor to them without being just carbonation. And so I'd rather have that than I would, I think, probably one of these. If it's like a hot day or if I'm working out. For me, it would replace if if I'm out, I'm driving. Yep. I think this would be a really good alternative when you're driving. So or it's going to be a long day, as you're saying, like a long day watching football. Throw some of those into the mix. You know what I mean? And also, I feel like you could have one or two heavy beers and then put it with those. Because I think some people look for that sweet spot of like a session IPA.
Yeah.
You can drink the session IPA all day. But if you want to have those one or two highfalutin beers, you can put a couple of these in there to balance off because you're not getting wasted off.
I think you just explained the perfect use cases for these beers.
In my opinion, again, I'm not a triathlete. But I just wouldn't crave that if I'm,
Has your dad had these?
He said he's heard, when he was intrigued by them, he was like, oh, I've heard really good things about them. Yeah, again, I think that's kind of where my two questions I would have. If you're drinking these in the sun, does it mess you up like it does beer? If I'm drinking beer like on a pool, give me one beer sometimes in the hot sun, and I have a headache that's going to last until I go to bed.
Yeah, that's a good question. Are these still headache inducing?
And are they urine inducing?
Well, they must be.
I mean, well, it's liquid.
Right.
I mean, but with beer, something that just goes through you. So it's just going to go through you as much as.
I guess we'll find out.
This is true.
I haven't
pissed myself yet. But usually
actually, I do. You're incontinent. You just can't. You really can't even feel it.
It's just the stout.
Yeah, I feel like when I drink beer, if I have one, I can pee two out.
Yes.
So
yeah,
we'll
easily.
Find,
easily.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't feel like I have to break the seal quite yet.
Yesterday, this is probably too much information, but I had big coffee when I got home. 24 ounce maybe. Delicious Leiden Street coffee, maple cinnamon latte, delicious. Then, so I noticed a lot of my beer that I have in the fridge was from September. I have some Treehouse, I have some Alchemist, and a couple Lawsons. I'm like, this is gonna be a past the three month mark soon. I better start drinking those up because it's all IPAs of those ones. I was like, well, I better have a beer. So I did. And then I had a second beer. And I was just taking a leak all night.
Really?
Not even all night, but like before bed, like all night. Just like, here I go again on my own.
How many times did you have to pee that night?
I was probably about like 5 times.
That's awful.
Before bed.
You can drink coffee before bed?
It wasn't before bed. It was just like 3 o'clock. I had the coffee.
That's too late.
Well, yeah. But then I had the beers right after, so it was just so much liquid, and then water too. So
is it that much? It doesn't seem like it is, but like you end up just nonstop having the pee.
Well, I mean, I had 24 ounce coffee.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a 24 ounce coffee.
24 ounce coffee.
Oh,
no, 20 ounce coffee. 20. Okay, whatever it is. 20 ounce.
All right.
I had a 20 ounce coffee.
Yeah.
I had a 16 ounce beer. I had a 12 ounce beer, and then I had glasses of water too. That's a lot
Basically
of liquid.
A whole gallon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're absolved.
And some of the problem, I think, even drinking a lot, like drinking water, so I'll drink 8 glasses a day. I'm gonna be
peeing all day.
Yeah, I can't do that.
We were talking earlier how I'd asked Katie, I was like, when's the last time you think you've been hydrated? Because my pee has been like a highlighter for like a month. No matter how much water I tend to drink.
Yep. It's just it's not, in a lot of ways, it's not practical.
Yeah.
But well, on that note.
Yep. This was a fine experiment. Thanks for sharing, Zach.
I'm Zach.
I'm Jim.
This is the Backyard Road Trip Podcast. Thank you for listening. You can find us at www.backyardroadtrips.com, on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Backyard Road Trips.